What's up, everybody? Welcome.
Besides your runs, of course, what are you most hyped for on the schedule?
Yes. There's honestly a few things I'm looking forward to. For the showcase runs per se, or specifically speaking, I'm looking forward to I think Big John's run the most because everyone knows how awesome Big John is. We had him on the show here. Big John is like the most one of the most interactive, one of the most entertaining speedrunners, and to be there like watching him live, really close to him doing his run would be like the coolest experience because I love Big John's energy. And I want to see how he reacts live on stage. Of course, there's ZFG's run, which is again the same thing. Seeing him do a run live in front of me is going to be quite an experience.
I guess, and for me, I mean, it's no surprise. The 120 race between Siglemic, Cheese, Punke, and D whatever. This last person,
Yes.
yeah, D whatever. Yeah, that's a lot of questions there for people to think about. Here's the main questions is. First of all, what kind of shape is Siglemic in terms of running, right? Big question. I know people have been spotting his alt name streaming and said he's good, but can he pull it out in a race situation? This is his first time being as Siglemic live in what? 6 years? 7 years maybe? Something like that.
It was about 2015. We actually had a few races where Siglemic was playing a little bit, and he joined a few races with us, but there was no kind of like incentive. It was just like me, Punky, and simply racing, and he joined like 2 races.
Okay, well there you go. That's still 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago now. So that's crazy.
4 years
so
ago.
that's what I'm most. I also want to see how the speedrunning world views that. Is this going to be as hype as I think it should be? Is there going to be a big viewership bump during that race? I wonder because we're long gone from now when pace. When everyone knew that Siglemic was this speedrunning founder, right? The god, one of the first gods that were speedrunning there was. I wonder what people think about that. But obviously, Cheese, you are going to be doing your best to win. So you got to try to do your best to win as well. But what about you? What about your the tournaments and stuff? What's going to look forward to there?
Well, this is the thing, dude. So like, I've never been in an event with competitive speedrunning in tournament style leagues and stuff. I don't know what to expect. None of us know what to expect. I think this is why I'm so excited, and everyone doesn't. We have no clue how it's gonna go, right?
Yeah.
We've seen is online. The leagues that have been going on for the past 4 months online on GSA, and people are hyped. People get so hyped doing races, and so many crazy things have happened. Sub one in a race, but seeing it live and being there is just gonna be. I can't even begin to imagine. But
yeah, for me, I like to worry about the layout and stuff like that is also really fascinating for me.
Yeah.
To see what the layout's going to be like, how the stage is going to be set up, that kind of stuff. I want to see as well. Like, is it going to be this kind of hype stage setup? Is going to be kind of, who knows how it's going to be? And also, think about the commentating and stuff. How's that going to be handled? Is there going to be
of course
a first time for event? Technical problems or sometimes happen. How's that gonna go? It's gonna be interesting.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Of course, we have to give shout outs to VG Bootcamp, Gimmer, and Apostle. Those are the guys who are gonna be doing most of the production for us and teaching us kind of like, hey, this is how they're gonna be showing us like how things are done in that setting. So without them, we wouldn't have been having pace. So yeah, VG Bootcamp is everything for us for pace. And then they will teach us how to not screw up, so we can do our own thing next time.
There you go, guys.
Or maybe have them with us again. Who knows?
All right, cool. So let's we're going to talk about more about pace, of course, at the end of this episode. When we get to the segments, but for now, let's throw it to our awesome interview with one of the biggest speedrunners in the world, GrandPOOBear. All right, guys, very special guest in the house. You know this guy. He is one of the biggest names in the speedrunning world. Hot off the speedrun sessions. GrandPOOBear, how you feeling, my friend?
Wonderful, man. Wonderful. How are you guys doing? It's an honor to be on here. It's no secret I'm a huge fan of Cheese in general.
Who is it?
My wife has like a mad crush on him. So
you know what? Just to pile in on this, my son is obsessed with Cheese streams, and I was saying,
really?
Well, in Japan you say like you like a Cheese-san or your GrandPOOBear kun or something. So
Yeah.
cheese spoon. He wants to watch cheese spoon because he always does the piece with the when Mario gets a star. He always does the piece and stuff. All right. Anyways, this is not here. I'm talking about cheese. Cheese is here all the time. GrandPOOBear, you are not here all the time, and you just had an awesome thing known as speedrun sessions, live speedrun event at a bar.
Yes. Yes.
Seemed to be an insane success. How you feeling about that? Give us your thoughts. A week or so out.
Oh man, I'm still beaming about it. It went way better. This is actually something that I've kind of been working on for years. It's something I've pitched, like any company that's ever contacted me, I've basically pitched them that idea before. Everyone was like, no, we don't want to put money into, whatever excuse they made. They were like, no, it's not going to work. Well, I finally found the partner that wouldn't say no to anything I do or anything I ask for. And they were like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's try a small one and see how it goes. And we were expecting 50, 100 people. Like we weren't expecting a lot of people for a Portland event. I announced it like 2 weeks out and, just had 3 runs coming. And we ended up having a line outside the bar. People couldn't even get in.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. The bar was packed. They only had 1 bartender on duty. So like that poor guy, I mean, he made a lot of money, but like he was swamped the whole time. People like got front row and then wouldn't move. Like they wouldn't even go to the bathroom. These people.
I realized that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were just like stuck there. And it was. I mean, the room was packed. It was awesome. And but it was also like it's a double-edged sword because I was like, oh shit, we packed this bar. Are we gonna be able to pack the next bar? Like, I was kind of worried we hit our home run, our first bat. Now we're gonna strike out our second one, but. That's just how it goes. Like it's a good problem to have, I guess. Yeah, we were super excited. I'm really lucky too because it's just an event. It's not trying to raise money. It's not trying to do anything else. It's just an event to have fun watching speedrunning. Like that's the whole point of the event. I come, hang out, watch speedrunning, buy some drinks, get the bar some money, and then we pack up and go to the next place, which is really great.
Okay, so yeah, I noticed like literally from the beginning to the end of the entire stream, it was the same people in the front row from when it started to when it ended, right? So they didn't want to leave. They were like, "This is my spot. I'm here." But so what was the nerves like? Were you nervous going in? Were you just like confident? What was going on through your head?
No, I mean I was. Yeah, I was super nervous because this is like I said, this is something I've wanted to do for years. Pretty much since I went to my first GDQ, I was like, why is this the only game in town? Like, why can't we do smaller versions of this all over the place? Like, why can't we do that? And so it is something that we obviously can. Yeah, exactly. We obviously can. And so it was something that I wanted to do, and I just needed the right partner to believe in it and make it happen. I mean, I was extremely nervous, more nervous than I've ever been for any GDQ run, just because it was my thing. It had my name on it. I was responsible for it. I picked the talent. I picked the first bar. I picked, like really everything that went into it. It was kind of, I picked the camera angles we were going to have.
Oh, cool.
So it was my baby, and I was a little nervous about those things. But once it was like 2:00 and I was setting up, and all of a sudden like 15, 20 people started rolling in, like right around 2:00, which is like 4 hours before it even started.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I kind of realized, like, oh shit, we might have the other problem where not everyone can get in.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good problem to have. And eventually everyone did get in, as other people that were just, because it hit capacity. I think capacity of that place is like 375, 400 people. And it hit capacity pretty early, like 8:00, but people they rolled in and out. And so everyone at least got to like come in for a second, which was really good. That made me happy. At least nobody got like locked out the whole time. So yeah, I mean, I was nervous, extremely nervous for the first one, but it was a nervous excitement and not like a nervous, like, oh shit, this isn't going to go well. Like I knew that like I had Red Bull production team there. The other thing actually that made me really nervous was there was probably like 12 people from Red Bull there in general.
Okay.
A lot of guys that aren't into gaming or not necessarily like know about gaming as far as like Red Bull is concerned, because gaming's a very new thing for Red Bull. They flew out like everybody to like come check out this event. and that kind of made me nervous too, because I didn't want to like screw up in front of the bigwigs, you know, and then then they go back and have a meeting about me the next day and like, why the fuck is this guy even signed with us, you know, like stuff like that. But no, it went well. Everyone had a great time. We all the runners got a little lit, and we hung out afterwards and played Killer Queen till 2 a.m. So it was a great time.
Yeah, we should say shout outs to the other guys too. You know, Oats and Goats, Spike Vegeta, Andy.
Could not have done it without them. And those were, and for me, it was also like very serendipitous to have Oats and Andy, who we were on ALG together, and that obviously folded. And this was an event I pitched ALG, and they said no to doing, and now. So it made me, I don't know, it's like one of those like, see guys, maybe you'd still be in business, baby.
Yeah. So speaking of business, as a businessman myself, a fake businessman myself, when I see this huge success, you were a line out the door. Do you think maybe, hey, why not step this up? Why not get a small theater? Things like this. Could this work in an atmosphere like that as well, where it's a 600 seater or something, and you do this? Do you ever think about that?
Well, the next place we're going is going to be considerably bigger, but it's still a bar. Okay. And one thing I really want to do is keep this in a barcade. Like I want it to be in a barcade. I want there to be arcade machines around. I want there to alcohol being served. Like those are two things that I think are really key to this event, because there's no other place where you can watch speedrunning and drink. And I think weirdly, that's kind of a good appeal to it. The runners get loose, the crowd gets loose, the crowd gets hyped and wild and loud. The stream didn't really do a good job of it was loud in there. It was really, really, really effing loud in there. And the stream didn't do a great job of kind of showing that. So, but it is definitely something I want to keep in a bar. I think the more if we wanted to do a theater or, you know, something, or hotel or something, we're just becoming what everything else is. And I don't want to do that. I do want to do, like, of course I want to do a traditional marathon, like everybody does want to do a traditional marathon, and I might have something to announce, not later in this stream, but later this year.
Okay.
Something like that. No.
Hang on, guys.
You know, later this year, about something like that, you know, come November-ish, I don't know. But that is something I want to do, because I do love traditional marathons, but I definitely wanted this to be a different type of event than you normally see with speedrunning. And I also want to keep costs really low. That's something that's really important to this event is it's, now that we've done one and we have like all the equipment like kind of banged out, it's relatively cheap for places to get us out there and put this on. The biggest expense, and it was designed this way, was to be the talent. So every runner that comes is getting paid. They're getting paid hundreds of dollars. The last one was 300. The next one they're getting 500 if they come run. And that's wildly important to me, is that these guys are treated right, getting paid. I want to give them like the full like celebrity treatment when we go to these places. So we put them in nice hotels, pay for all their food. Like we do everything, you know what I mean?
Fly them out too, or what? You fly
them out? Yeah. We fly them out, pay for the hotel. So like the guys came out, to put it in perspective, the guys came out on Wednesday. It was a Thursday event. The guys came out on Wednesday morning. We picked them all up from the airport, me and my Red Bull manager. We picked them up, took them to lunch, got them settled into a really nice 4-star hotel. We took them out to eat at one of the best restaurants in Portland, and you order whatever you want on the menu, like the whole thing, dessert, you can get it all. And the next day, paid for all their food the next day, and that's the other really big thing for me, is I want this to be another avenue, another revenue stream for the guys who come out. Like, it has to be worth it. I don't want them to, this isn't for charity. This is just for fun. This is just a good fucking fun time. So I'm not going to ask you to spend your money to come have a good time with me. Like, I'm going to incentivize you to come have a really good time with me. And and the third thing is, it's just it's a fun way to kick it with my friends, like that is another aspect of it. I have, most of my friends are speedrunners. This is a good way for me to get to see them more often.
So I noticed like a few things out of that. Like you said, for fun. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people in speedrunning, they tend to get kind of like blinded by this whole thing of speedrunning. Anything to do with speedrunning live equal charity. Mm-hmm. And it's always been like this, right? So like,
yes,
And I tell people, like we need to start thinking outside the box. Like charity is gonna always be there, but like for
Yeah.
speedrunning to really keep growing outside, we need to come up with different things. So I was so excited to see this, and I was gonna say, like while you were mentioning, I was gonna say that POOBear is like the definition of talkative, cool, chill, and hang out, and like the perfect guy to drink with. So like
Yes.
I knew you were gonna say, no, I want to keep this in a barcade because your event belongs in a barcade because
Yes, exactly.
Your energy is perfect at a barcade setting, and I think that's exactly why you probably want to keep it there. It's like perfect for you, perfect for your audience, perfect for a new speedrunning style thing too. So I totally agree, dude. And it's true, you can't really find a place where you could drink and speedrun at the same time.
Yeah, it's the only event. I went back and looked, and I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess like you could drink in Mike's basement when it was happening. But,
yeah.
I mean, we can do that thing where I take my opaque Twitch container and pour booze in it, and then go watch a run. Go watch She's run it, which we've all done at GDQ. Like, I mean, straight up. We've all done it, but then you're sitting there doing it too, and you're like, "Fuck, I don't want to get banned." You know what I mean? I might get banned just for saying I've done it out loud. Like
now you're out.
Yeah.
I don't want to get caught. Like you see muffins, and you're like, "I'm putting this away real quick." Like cruising around.
You guys are kind of, you can drink in places like theaters in Madison Square Garden or something. They sell booze there, guys. Let's not forget that.
But no, I mean, I think the other thing is like. It's intimate. Like right after, this is off stream. Right as soon as the stream was done, I was like, "Yo, everybody, I'm gonna do pictures and meets right over here. If you want a picture and a handshake, like, come up." And this is what you didn't see on stream. Like, we all spent an hour afterwards meeting every single person that walked through that door and shaking the hands and taking pictures.
That's honestly, like for me, the most fun part. I love doing that.
Yeah, and you couldn't. I couldn't do. The more people we get in there, I just couldn't do it. I will say though, the next spot we're going, we are trying to blow it out. But that's because it's in a spot where you have to go very big.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay, I would not be doing my journalistic duty if I didn't ask. You said the next place is chosen. Is there any? Can you give us any kind of hints or announcement? Maybe whatever you want to do. The floor is yours.
The date is chosen. The what day is this airing?
This is airing on 22nd, 23rd, around there.
Okay, no, I can't say it. The date is chosen. The date is chosen. The location is chosen. I have other cities lined up. The goal of this is to be a true tour. I want to go to as many major cities as I can, and then when we hit all the major ones, I want to start going to the next set of. You know what I mean? Like. I want to hit as many places as I can over the next 2 or 3 years and to show them live speedrunning, because you guys have seen it. I think there's nothing really as exciting as being in a room during a really fucking good run. There's very few things in gaming that can give you that feeling. Like Cheese's SGDQ 120 star a couple years ago when he was like a minute and a half off his own record.
Yeah, that was
oh my god, that was
always
so
gonna
hype.
That's always going to be my best run. Do you know the funny thing about that run too is, the funny thing, to cut it all short, that whole event, I was focusing on getting a good time on that run. I was telling myself, this one's going to be sick. And I pulled it off. On every other event I've done a run, I was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'm just having fun here. But that one was like, I'm going to get a good run.
Yeah, I get it. That kind of like, you were having a moment in that one that put a stamp on that whole moment. So I get that. And that, I think it's just, it's exciting, and speedruns can be funny, they can be exciting, they can be glitch heavy. I think that's something we really tried to show too at this event was, and something I do want to show at each event is I want to have one run that is featuring, like, because my runs are generally going to be Kaizo stuff. No glitches in that. So every time I want to have one run that's kind of at least be kind of glitch heavy a little bit, or show off enough glitches to kind of show like another aspect of speedrunning, so someone that walks by is like, what the fuck just happened right there? So I don't know if I can curse right here. I'm sorry if I'm just like breaking all the rules. Edit me out. Sorry. And that, you know what, that's the third reason I wanted a barcade, because I like to say fuck every once in a while. So.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I like you mentioned like just now, that it's nothing more exciting than being in a room with like a really good run going on, but then you take that and then you add a barcade setting where people are just like having fun. while someone is like on a really good pace run, everyone's like screaming behind you. I can
Yeah.
only imagine how like insane that must be.
Yeah, it's lit. It's really good. Yeah, I will say the next one is going to be awesome. It's just, I mean, think of the place in America where you would have to do it the biggest, and this is what's making me nervous about this one, because it's like, this is a spot I obviously wanted to go to, but I kind of wanted to wait because I wanted to have a few under my belt, but they were like, no, we want it now. And it's been really cool. I mean, the response has been crazy. I've like literally after the Portland one, I had probably like 50 emails from different bar owners.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
people,
they want to piece that too.
Crazy.
Yeah. They want to
exactly.
Piece that, yeah.
They were like, "Yo, can you come here? Can you bring this here? Can you bring?" And I was a bit overwhelmed by it, but there was one in particular. It was like the be all end all, and they get the next one coming. So yeah,
awesome. All right,
it's just, I mean, yeah, it's just, we're gonna be competing with a lot of entertainment in this other place, so you can probably guess where it's gonna be.
Yeah, I can definitely think about the guess, but I won't say anything.
Yeah,
I don't want to, gamble on being wrong, I guess I should say. Anyways,
you know what? You could, you're doing good right there.
Okay. So, all right, let's break out. Speed on session is awesome. Let's talk a few general questions here with Pooh Bear. We have him on here, so I want to know. You're known for this Kaizo Mario, like you said. I think that's kind of your when you think Pooh Bear, that's what you think. You think Mario first, and then you think these Kaizo games, kind of what you do. So you play these games insanely difficult, right? The highest level difficulty there is kind of in some games. And I do want to say, with that difficulty though, comes less competition for world records, right? I think that's safe to say, right? There is less competition than there would be with Mario 3 or whatever, right? So, So the question for me, from me is, what do you think about, like, do you care about getting the world records in that kind of normie games, or is it you just have fun with the highest level difficulty possible, even though there isn't as hypeness to those world records? You know what I mean?
Well, it's hype to me.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Getting those world records. It is a lot of me beating my own time sometimes, though. Yeah, that does. I mean, that would. What do I want to say? Like, chat doesn't really get excited when you beat your own world record. It doesn't really, you know what I mean? Unless you like break some like magical time. Like it is, chat's just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. I just like to, just play what I think's really fun, and hard games for whatever reason really really appeal to me. And I think there's something, a perfect Kaizo run is just as hard to obtain as a perfect run of any other game. I don't think that is any different. I think the hard part about Kaizo is we're so used to like speedrunning. We're like, oh, he broke the record by a second, or he broke the record by 2 seconds. And Kaizo's generally like 30 seconds or more most times we break it, because any mistake we make, like any little mistake, we hit the wrong jump, we're off a pixel, we're dying and we're losing 45. Yeah. It's just how it is. It's not like when I'm playing Mario 3 and I miss a jump. Like I really don't lose that much. I lose 2 seconds most of the time when I have a bad jump in Mario 3. It's not really that big a deal. It is at the highest level of times, but for most people, like if you're watching a world record run, and for like let's say Mario 1, like could you honestly with your naked eye tell the difference between the first run and the number 10 run in Mario 1? Like it's impossible, like it's you're talking about a one frame rule at this point that they're changing out, and
I still don't understand what it means, but yeah.
It's a bus, okay? It's a bus. No, but it just, to me, it's just more visually pleasing to me as a runner, and yeah, it is kind of I don't want to say my own little niche, because it's not my own little niche anymore. It was my own little niche. Me and Dode were kind of the only guys for a year or two, and now it's so big, man. Now it's not even like that anymore. Like now with like GrandPOOBear World right now, there's like, there's 10 guys running GrandPOOBear World at a high level, and I lost my record yesterday at GrandPOOBear World for all exits. I still have the other two, but I lost it in all exits by like 9 seconds, like and there's a ton of us just jumbled up within like a minute and a half of each other right now. So it's definitely getting harder than other games now. But I think there's also like the whole aspect of this, like there's not a lot of people that could actually just beat these fucking games. Like there's just not a ton of people, for whatever reason, they don't have the patience, they don't have the skill, they don't have the knowledge, whatever. There's just not a lot of people that can beat GrandPOOBear World 2 out there. Like it is less than 100 people probably in the world that are actually capable, for whatever reason, patience, skill, time, priorities, whatever it is, that are capable of beating it, and without save states. So I mean, it's I don't know, it's a double-edged sword. Yeah, the records might be a little bit easier for me to obtain because I'm a veteran in that, but it's not always going to be like that. There's definitely tons of people like going against me, and there's where there was just Dode I was going against 2 years ago. Now there's 10 or 12 guys that are up at that skill set, that are, you know, making runs at pretty much every game. I think the biggest problem with like us in the Kaizo world right now is that so many hacks are dropping all the time that it's like there's so many like quality good hacks that it's hard for me to just stick to one for one time and really, you know, optimize it and get it down. Yeah, it's also really important to me to, like, when I do run these Kaizo games, they can't just be like go deathless. I really enjoy when I find a nice skip or sequence break or strat or something that saves, even if it's just a cycle. Like, that has to exist for me to really get deep into those games. And that's one reason why I love the Dram World series. Both of them featured huge skips, and GrandPOOBear World 2 as well. There's like tons of really little cycle breaks that I'm doing that no one else is doing that makes it a lot of fun for me. Yeah. And why I avoid some other Kaizo games, you know, why I don't run those. I don't think it's cheaping, if that's what you were getting at.
No, not cheaping, not cheaping. The cheaping is a negative word. I think, like, you know, you don't rarely see GrandPOOBear grinding Mario, you know, doing 1,000 resets on Super Mario 3, for example. You know, you're always doing.
Yeah, I mean, and I love Mario 3. Like, Mario 3 is my first speedrun game, but it just like Mario 3 is, I zone out, man. Midway, like 25 minutes into that run, I'm just like, oh god, you know, like I'm holding right and jumping. This is not fun anymore, you know. And it just, especially Mario 3 too, it's just like there's so much like luck involved in it. I don't want to grind 1,000 runs trying to get early hammer no hands, first try clips, first try. It just gets to the point where it's just not fun for me, and I don't think that's as compelling content as I'm capable of putting out.
It's like, I think it's directly related to lots of other top speedrunners that have been around for years, that have been, and I think it's very common to see now, like a few years ago, 2014, 2015, I feel like those years were like the height of like these runners grinding, and they just never seem to get bored of trying to beat like world records top times. Now you see a lot of these runners, they kind of, including me, like I'm big time for me. Exactly what you explained. It's like, I just don't feel like going through this game again over and over today. Like, I did an hour of it. I want to do something else. 3 years ago, I could do 8 hours of 120 star grinding in Mario, for example. And it's like no big deal. Now it's a different story, and you just can't help it. Like, after a few years, you know, it's like you can't help it. It's the same. After doing 15,000 attempts, you're gonna reach a point where it's like that, you know. But like all these Kaizos, hacks, all this stuff, I think it's like the best thing to happen. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love randoms. I'm a huge fan of randomizers. I think randomizers are. They're both the best and worst thing that ever happened to speedrunning. Like, both, all at one time.
It's so funny you say that, because me and ALT literally, we talked a lot about that. It's like literally the best and worst, and then we talk about why it's the best and worst.
Yeah, that was last week. Yeah,
it's like, it's we could talk about that for hours.
Yeah.
It's like, because it kind of does take away some of the purity of what speedrunning was built on, right? This kind of grinding a game to get the lowest time, and then you hit the randomizer in there. It's not the same thing anymore, but it's good for competitive stuff. For real, you know, I think speedrunning needs that to make competitive speedrunning even bigger. But I was gonna ask you about another thing about future events and stuff, and you know, we have Pace is coming up this next week, which is competitive live event. That's cool. So, how about for you? Do you see yourself bringing competitive into any side of these speedrun sessions? I mean, is that something you're interested in, or you want to keep it fun, kind of light, more side of things?
Fun and light. Yeah, no, definitely. Plus, I mean, GSA, you guys have a really good lockdown on that, and I like what you guys are doing. I think I want more professional speedrunners. I want more guys that can make a living doing speedrunning out there. That is a huge goal of mine in general. When I'm finished with Red Bull, I want to see them have 5 fucking speedrunners signed. I want to see 10. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the only one forever. Yeah. I want I want more guys to be able to make a living doing speedrunning. If they can't do it as a content creator, then they got to start winning tournaments. You know what I mean? And we got to have money behind these tournaments. So I totally want to see more of that. I think the basketball style tournaments that we have where they go on for 42 months is
not good. Yeah.
It's not the most ideal way to watch and follow a event. Also, the fact that if more guys are being able to do this for a living, we can schedule, like, instead of having to let 2 guys schedule their race and it be on at a random time that no one's going to go, we can be like, yo, Thursday night, like the same way Thursday night football happens, we have Thursday night Celeste, Thursday night, Wednesday night Mario 64, like stuff like that. That's something that I want to see more of, and the only way for us to do that is to give guys the freedom to have that time off from their regular jobs, whatever it is, and kind of take this,
It's funny you mention that.
More focus on that, yeah.
It's funny you mention that because, well, a little bit of inside scoop, but I won't give too much information.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, whoa.
Get on Twitter.
No, I was just gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that GSA actually has plans for implementing that kind of format for season 2, but slightly different, but definitely in that sense, I think it would be a lot better. I'm just gonna put it that way.
No scoop.
Soon to be. No scoop.
We've had a lot of no scoops already. You know what I mean? Like a lot of non-announcement announcements already in the podcast.
In the future, there's going to be an awesome announcement.
This is why I said don't freak out.
Yeah. Too late.
Yeah. I was excited to see GSA. I know it was kind of like somewhat controversial when it first came out, or especially when the Celeste announcement, but I don't think that. I think the worry is always like someone's gonna hold a strat away. Like that's like this big worry, and I think that's such a dumb worry because he might hold it for one event,
for one race.
After that event, for one race, but after that, it's like it's out, like it's just out and there. Like I don't know, that's not a big.
I broke it down in three problems. One of them is like first of all, the chances of somebody finding a strat that saves so much time that it actually makes a difference in a race in a game like Celeste is very, very, very tiny, almost impossible. Second thing, the chances of somebody finding a new strat that saves a lot of time at a grand finals, just before a grand finals, so they can do it at a grand finals and then beat the person with that strat is even smaller. Yeah. It's like it's a very null concern, little to nothing concern for or a reason, I guess, to say, oh, this entire organization doesn't make any sense because of this. It's
and you guys are forgetting, if that ever happened, it'd be the big hypest moment ever.
Exactly.
It would be the dopest. Like all of a sudden, like they just stop like 10 minutes into a run and set up some ace or something. I would just freak out. I would lose my mind. It would be the greatest thing I ever saw. Like pay that man if that happens. I would be so excited for that personally. Yeah. And it's also like that would be a do or die moment for him, I personally think that's content, and I think I'm not the old school generation of speedrunning. I'm a second gen speedrunner, I'm fully aware of that. I've only, this is going to sound bad. I've gotten into every GDQ I've applied for. I've never been turned down. I've gotten to the last 9. I'm super lucky in that respect. I'm blessed for that. Thank you, GDQ, so much for believing in me. But I do have different thoughts on speedrunning, I think, than a lot. And I don't want to say the old guard, because I think a lot of the old guard agrees with me. But I think it's content first, because that's what drives Twitch. Like it's the content we're providing, and almost like time second. I know that sounds really bad because I'm gonna get it like just shot in the face by the speedrunning purists for that. But I think like we forget so many times that the only reason speedrunning matters is because people care about it. And we have to create compelling content and stories and journeys for people. I always talk about creating a journey for people, for that to continue to be exciting, because otherwise you're just watching guys, try to burn a quarter of a second off a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's so exciting when you have a guy that's just been like grinding a game for so long, and he finally gets that goal time that he's been talking about for a year. That's like a full journey. It's this full experience.
It is,
it's like
exactly.
It's like a season of Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
He started here. He was a scrub, and now he got here, ended. He's a world record holder. That's exciting stuff, and that's a cool journey. Yeah,
I always
and I love that.
My chat that pop in, and they're just like, "Yo, like I saw you 2 years ago, and you had this time. Like it's insane to see how far you've come, and I've been watching you, and I just had to tell. I see it so much, and every time I see it, it makes me more and more motivated, and that's exactly what you're talking about."
Yeah, that's what I believe, and I think that's the driving force. And you know, like you look at like other games that are popular on Twitch, like let's just say like Battle Royale, like a Fortnite game. You're literally every single time they hit play game and drop in, you're creating this whole new story and whole new actions where anything can happen. So often in speedruns, we know like not anything can happen because we know the possible outcomes or whatnot. So it's exciting to have those anything can happen moments, and that's what makes like world record grinding so exciting when they finally get it. You know,
I like you said a lot of good stuff there real quick, and I want to make sure I point it out. I like you said content first. I think that's really interesting because, like you said, the kind of old school speedrunning is about getting the best times, and
waifu in the corner.
Yeah, you know, like, but like you said, you want to make more people be able to make a living out this. Yeah, she says many waifus on this corner, in his corner. But you know, if you want to make speedrunning have a lot more people making a living with that, content has to be first, right? It can't be
content
that.
Has to be first.
But I want to say, ask you about this though, because you know, sometimes that arc, right, the arc you guys mentioned, once it's over, what's next, right? That's a big thing for some people, right? People become known for that arc, and then after that, the hype is gone, right? So what do you think about that? How do you continue? Do you go to a new game? Do you try to? Hey, I'll try randomize for a while. That piss people off too, though. How can people keep that? Is it about to be an awesome personality? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean that's the magic. That's the magic sauce right there, right? How do you go to the next thing after you finish this journey for whatever reason? The journey's done because you achieved your goal or you're burnt out. Yeah. You know, one of those two things. How do you create a new journey? And that is the magic sauce. Like that's hard for anyone to do. Kind of shift games. It's even harder if you're shifting genres.
Yeah.
Of games. You know, it's difficult. I think that's one of the reasons why you've seen the biggest names in speedrunning get away from speedrunning, for better or worse. I don't think I ever have to get away from speedrunning. There's always going to be another Mario game for me to play.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll say like for me, like Mario Maker is such a blessing because I can create a day-long journey in Mario Maker every single day, and it's different enough for me because it doesn't play like Mario World. It doesn't play like Mario 3. It's all user-created stuff. Half the levels fucking suck. Half of them are like trolly and dumb, and like, you know, but every once in a while you find this like gem of a level that you just want to grind for 6, 7, 9, 10 hours, and then that's its own journey. And I'm very lucky and blessed to be a runner of such a popular series that I know is never going to die. It's easier said than done to create that new journey, and I think I mean that's the magic sauce. I don't know how to I mean pivot, I guess is like the right word we want to use.
Yeah,
I don't know the right way to pivot or what's the best way to pivot. But it's, I mean, that's every Twitch streamer, every single guy.
Yeah, every single one. I was about to say every single streamer goes through that process.
Exactly.
Especially speedrunners.
Yes.
I still think about it every day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is hard. Like, I mean, she's like, you tried to do your PUBG thing for a while, you know, and God knows I love Fortnite. Yeah, God knows I love Fortnite. I mean, I've even played in the fall skirmish. I played in the summer skirmish. Like I've played in major Fortnite tournaments, and I can't get anyone to watch me play Fortnite, y'all. Like not compared to what they watch me play Mario, you know.
The thing is,
it's not easy, you know. But I'll always be lucky. I mean, lucky for me, it wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm quitting speedrunning, going Fortnite full time. It was always just like, this is my side chick, you know. Like let's see how far I can take this. It'll be fun, you know. I wish I could have created a more successful journey, but
yeah, for me it was literally not even a side chick. It was like I am totally taking a big break. To me that was kind of like a total it was almost like a Twitch break. But then I just decided to stream what I was doing for fun. And then I realized it's not even worth streaming it. I might as well not even stream this. It was kind of depressing. It was like, wow, it's like look how different this is. Because like those are two completely different worlds.
Yeah.
And now it's like I'm not interested in playing those games anymore. I love speedrunning more than I've ever loved it before. And GSA, randomizers, all this stuff has given someone so many opportunities that I have no excuse to get away from speedrunning. And Mario Maker 2 is coming out. I would love to get into Mario Maker. I wanted to get into the first one, so I really want to get into the second one.
Oh man,
there's always going to be there's always going to be more things.
I think it is hard. It's definitely like an interesting. It's the $1 million question, I guess, for streamers. You know what I mean? If you don't have a game that just kind of falls into your lap in your genre, like how do you pivot out of there? And you know it's very difficult, and it's never going to be easy. You're just pretty much starting over every time you switch games, for better or worse. It's so weird for me though, because like I just like video games. Like don't get me wrong, I love Mario. It just 2D Mario just happens to be what I excel at. If you run, right, and jump, I'm pretty good at those games. Every other game I'm kind of average at. Like straight up, like 3D games like mystify me. I don't get it. I don't get how they're shaving so much time in Odyssey. Like it just blew my mind, you know, even when I was speedrunning that. Like they mystify me for whatever reason. But I'm just a gamer. I love games. Like after platforming games, my 2D platforming game, that's my favorite genre. But after that, like my favorite genre of games would be like, you know, action puzzlers, kind of like Zelda-like, or straight up survival games like DayZ and Rust and Ark and early H1Z1 BRs. Like I poured so many hours into Arma 3 BR and Arma 3 Altus Life. Do you guys know what Altus Life is?
No.
It was like GTA roleplay before GTA roleplay existed.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Yeah, you go to like the weed fields and get your weed, and then you go try to sell it, and then there's cops in there that pull you over, and you know, like stuff like that. Yeah, you get in gunfights and go to jail, and you literally like you can go to jail in that game, and you literally have to sit in jail for 20-30 minutes.
Oh wow.
But other prisoners like come in, and then you're like trying to break out now, you know. Stuff like that, you know. I love like role-playing games like that. I am like, I'm a speedrunner first, but I'm definitely a gamer 1B. And I just love video games. So I'm always really fascinated by how quick the Twitch audience is to kind of just like bounce on the streamer, you know. It's a fascinating thing. But
yeah, that's what I'm asking you, both of you guys. I can ask you, what is that? I mean, do you feel handcuffed? Right? Is there those plastic, imaginary handcuffs on you that you feel like? Cheese, how about you start with you, Cheese? Do you feel handcuffed to Mario with 64 now? Like, do you feel you could ever say bye to it? And because it's your livelihood, right?
I feel much less handcuffed to it than I was before. Like, well, my main issue personally is that when I started in 2014, all the way up to like mid-20s, all the way up to like, to be honest, around 2017 actually, I didn't actually really understand and realize what it is like being a streamer. Okay. I always thought all I need to do, or all I do, is turn on the game, speedrun, and try to break PBs. That's all I knew. And it's only until years after I really understood and realized what streaming meant. And now I know what streaming means, and it's like I don't feel tied down to Mario. But again, with more things coming out, it's more of a reason to keep playing Mario. I mean, mostly Randomizer. Randomizer's like, I love Randomizer that it just came out. It's always a nice, cool experience. Like today, I was grinding 120 star for 3 hours, and I was like, I'm tired. If I have to see LBLJ again, I'm going to cry. So time to do a Randomizer run, and it was fun. It was a chill thing to do for the last 2 hours of my stream, and I could always do a Randomizer run. And it would be slightly different every time, and it could be fun for me to just chill out with chat. But and then that's just Mario. There are other games too, so it's like I don't feel much tied down.
Okay, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty lucky that like the ROM hack community is so active that I basically get a new dope ass game every month. In my genre. So I am pretty lucky in that. Like I have yet to like burn out on a game and not been like, oh, there's another cool Mario game I can play that nobody's ever seen before. Like, let's pop it in. You know, I've definitely not gone that deep into the SMW Central rabbit hole yet, where I'm worried about running out of like Mario content. But I think there is. I'm definitely envious of someone like Dan's Gaming who can, or Moon Moon. I think Moon Moon has like the best gig on Twitch. Like he can play any fucking thing and he's gonna pull in his same 10K viewers any single time. And he had to work for that, you know what I mean? He had to kind of like, you know, he does morning streams, night streams, and they had different themes and stuff like that before he could kind of get that content ready. I can't do that. I have a new baby. I have a wife that I like to hang out with from time to time. You know, it's a lot easier for me to just kind of do it all in the middle in that afternoon cycle. So it's harder for me to branch out. But one thing I've noticed, at least for me, is like as long as the game's like really hard, like Spelunky is a really good pivot game for me. Dark Souls has been a really good pivot game for me. You know, the first plays of that have been really fun, blind, casual plays that I can still keep the 75% of my viewership that will stick around for anything. Whereas like anything first person or shooter like or BR like generally goes down to like you're getting like
it does. It's
like
weird.
25% of my normal viewers. Which is still like for me, I totally understand like 25% of my normal viewers is still I'm totally capable of being a full-time streamer with that. And I understand that. I'm blessed and super lucky to be in that position. But it's kind of weird how Twitch like plays mind games with you. And that if you're a 2,000 viewer streamer and you have 500, you feel like everyone hates you and nobody loves you anymore.
Yeah,
no, right, dude. It's not just me then. Okay.
You know, it does. It plays mind games with you. It literally. Me and I've actually talked. We were talking about this with the hardest part about being a successful streamer is the mental games that it plays on you. Like I had 2,000 more subs in February than I do now. I still have an ass ton of subs. Like I have more subs than any other speedrunner out there that I know of, you know, and I'm super lucky about that. But like why do I get depressed about that? That's such a weird, stupid thing to get depressed about. You know what I mean? It's dumb. It was just like, I had a really good month. I had a game named after me that got released. It was wildly popular on Twitch. I had a great month. Like, why aren't I thinking about how dope that month was instead of how not as good this month is? Like, this month is still great. You know what I mean? I'm still doing much better than I could ever do at any other job in any other career in any other aspect of my life. Like there's nothing else I could do where I could make this money, have this fun, have this free time, you know what I mean? Like get to work at home. Yeah. There's literally nothing else in the world I could do like this. It's so weird how Twitch plays, not intentionally, but it plays mind games with you. What you hear it all the time where streamers are like, we're guilted to take a week off. Like if you take a week off, like I just bought a house. I'm about to move into a house. I feel like horribly guilted that I'm about to take a week off to move into this house and then go to an out-of-town wedding. Like I have no choice. I have to do it. I feel so guilty. I feel like I'm going to lose everything. I feel like when I come back, I'll have 10 viewers. Like everything will be gone. I've lost it all. Like that's such a weird thing to feel.
No, I don't. That I do. What I do feel is that when
you don't feel that. Oh man.
What I do feel is sometimes when I if I do something else, a different game, or whatever, and I see the viewers drop, the viewers dropping gets me nervous. It's like, oh my god, nobody likes me anymore. Everyone's watching ZFG instead or something, you know, which they probably are. But the being nervous or scared to like go to GDQ for a week and come back and be like, I can't be there for like, if you look at a lot of top speedrunners, they go there for like 2 days and they come back home. And I know exactly why they do that. They want to stream, right? And that's totally fine. And they have that thought in their mind. I don't feel that. I look forward to my time off, I guess, but like I kind of know that I'm gonna be at GDQ or I'm gonna pace. Like I just went to TwitchCon EU. I did a run for ESA for 3 days. I came back. I lost 100 subs. It's gonna happen, right?
It is.
And I'm gonna pace for 5 days, and I know it's gonna happen again. But like, I don't know. I don't feel that. I don't get that feeling. I don't know why. I just don't. I kind of.
I'm getting better with it. I will say I'm better with it than I was like a year when I first went full time. And I know. Like I'm just more secure now. But Twitch is and you can't say it out loud because you know you're playing video games for a living. You got the best gig in the world, but it is a mental drain. Like like, man, I get death threats every single day. I have people tell me I suck. I have people tell me that, like, you know, so-and-so is significantly better than you are. all the time. I could have a better time than someone by 10 minutes. And I'm like, so and so is way better at this game than you are. Like blah blah blah. Like it gets to you, and no matter how confident you are, like it's going to grind on you, and it is just like they're just chipping away, just chipping, and eventually it does. It hits the bone, and you know what I mean. It's hard. It's very hard to keep the mental game strong.
You guys are both in the rare. I'm just a speedrun commentator. Totally. You guys are both in the rare place where you can choose when you guys say I want to work, which means stream for you guys. You can get money. You know, it's just like you could say right now I'm going to stream for the next 2 hours and get money. But if you choose not to do that, that means you're not getting money, right? It's directly connected with how much work you do, which is something that not a lot of people can say. So that's got to be a heavy on the mind. Like I'm freelance worker myself. I work from home too, but I know if I decide to work for the next 4 hours, I'm going to get extra money. But I also have a family downstairs I want to hang out with. You know, so it's like you really got to balance like money and time. It's just a tough thing. Well, I think we could have like a course with this guy, with you, both you guys. We could put a course together, like the mental game of streaming, or whatever. But
it's so hard. Yeah,
that'd be cool. It's crazy though. Like exactly what Pooh says is exactly what I say, like all the time, and because it's true. That's what streamers go through. It's like a mental drain. It's a very draining thing being a streamer because you are constantly thinking, what can I do better? What game should I play? How many subs am I gonna lose? Should I go to this place? It's all mental, dude. Yeah, and it drains you. Yeah.
It's so weird. I probably play like less video games now as a streamer, like a full-time streamer, than I did.
Me too.
Yeah, like less. Like I play more hours of game, but I play probably less variety of games than I did before, which is just weird. I miss out on so many games. I'm like, fuck, that looks so much fun, you know?
Yeah.
I try. I've been really like conscious too to just like try to play more fun new stuff, you know, even though I know it's gonna bomb. Like, you know, Sekiro was like a horrible game for me, but stream wise, it was a really fun game for me, you know, mentally wise. Like it was a fun time. So it is hard. It is difficult, and we do have that constant fear of like we're going to lose everyone. You know, we'll become an overnight unsensation, I guess is what you would call it. And it's hard to get rid of that mentality, but yeah.
All right, guys.
I mean, that's part of the game.
Jeez,
every job's got its downfalls.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say too. And a lot of jobs you have to do stuff you don't want to do. That's how you get money, right? You know, so got to think about it that way. You know, so geez, any last question before we send our boy home, or the people speedrunner? Yeah, I just want to. I guess my last comment is, I think what's really special about GrandPOOBear is obviously your personality and stuff. You know how to stream. You're very entertaining. You do great stuff. I would also want to say that you really support the community, right? And I think it's a lot of people can say people speedrunner. I know it's just a wrestling meme, but I think that's really true for you, and you really do show that you care about the community and other people a lot. I think that's really special. I don't want anyone to forget that it's not just about you for sure. And I think it's really cool. So thanks for coming on today, man.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, and that is true. Like everything I do, it's kind of funny. I talk to Sinister all the time because I want to, before I do something, I'm like, yo, will this help? And Sinister's like our god of speedrunning, you know what I mean?
He really is, yeah.
He really is. He's like I always call him the commish. He's our commish, you know. So like before sessions, I talked to him and I was, you know, very specific, like you know, what do you think about this? Like, you know, how would this work? Will this affect the community? Do you think having alcohol will give a bad look to the community? Things like that, you know what I mean? And it is something I'm very conscious. Speedrunning has given me everything. It's given me it's given me a home. I'm buying a home next week because of speedrunning. It's now I'm in a position to give back. This is my time to give back, and I truly believe that, and I hope. And Cheese obviously is feeling the same way with GSA and you guys, everything you guys are doing, and it is something that is very important to me to continue to do that. I want to bring my friends along, and Rising Water raises all ships. You know, speedrunning becomes, if we can get from that 10 to 12,000 viewers that we have watching speedrunning every day, if we can make that to 30 to 50,000 viewers watching speedrunning every day, chances are more viewers are going to watch me too. So it's not like completely selfless. I don't want to pretend that. You know what it is, but it is. Rising Waters raises all ships. I want more full-time speedrunners out there, man. I really, really do. Awesome. I want to see the first in the next 5 years. I want to see the first full-time tasker. Like he can make his living fucking tasking. That's what I really want to see.
That's something.
Yeah,
that's something.
All right, man. GrandPOOBear, you keep rocking and rolling. Future speedrun sessions is coming, guys. Stay tuned for everything. Follow him and do all that strap. But awesome, GrandPOOBear, you're the best.
Thank you guys so much.
Not missing any fireballs so far on either side. This is coming down to crazy.
Right, this last pillar is also still interesting. Equan getting the shots in. I think he might have missed one at the very start. Gets the pillar plan. Oh, he doesn't actually! What?
Oh
the pillars
God,
are falling at the same. Oh no, not again.
Oh no, don't do this to me!
Not again. What?
Oh, is Curbs actually gonna win that based on that missed fireball here?
I think he might have.
I don't know. We might have to go on a this frame count.
I mean, we will need to go on a return regardless. But
oh my, yeah, this is gonna need a frame count to see have to go into the deciders.
There. Also, no, using the pillar, barely able to. Whoa! Oh man, we got a cheese strat here. Whoa, turn it around on the pyramid so fast to be able to make it all the way over the top. Ooh, I love the cheese.
Now, Obio seems just trying to get that zipper, but Obio back in
wait.
Oh
my gosh, wait. No!
Wow. Obio just getting this so close.
Wow.
Oh my god.
That was
close. And so you could adjust it to 16 for that.
Nice. I can't wait to see 45-star runs again. What is Cheese doing? I just noticed.
Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I think that was one of the best interviews I've been in. GrandPOOBear is such a wholesome guy. Like, we were talking to him and I just felt like I was at home chilling out and we were just talking about any random thing. But yeah, it's time to dive into the this or that segment. Is that right?
Or that. We have two choices. You have to choose one of them. There's no choosing both. There's no choosing neither. You have to choose one or the other, my friends out there.
Okay.
I'm going to go first to you, Cheeser. What would you rather do during your showcase race? 120-star 4-way race. I don't have to say it again. Do I have to say the names again? Okay, I will. Punky, D whatever, Cheese, and the man himself, Sig. Okay, what would you rather do during that race? Lose. Okay, you're winning, but you lose the lead to a Bowser throw. That's
which will happen.
Okay, that always happens. Or would you rather make a mistake in the beginning and then just say, "Well, okay, I have no chance," and then you can just drop? What's better for you? Do you think a better choice?
What do you mean by drop?
Like as in you make a huge mistake, you can't get this one thing, and you're 5 minutes behind in the first 10 minutes, so it's basically no chance. What's more devastating?
Okay, the one that has much more of an immediate impact of I just want to cry in a ball is losing like the win on Bowser throws.
Yeah,
for sure. That is like, because it like, first of all, it's just an awful feeling, and second of all, it just brings back all of the 125,369 memories I've had of losing runs to Bowser throws. So, but I mean, imagine losing like 5 minutes in the beginning and knowing that you can't win in the first 10 minutes. That's like, God, you can't even compete. It's like, why am I here? You know?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's a tough question, right? It's a good question.
That is a tough one.
Which is worse?
Which is worse?
Yes.
I'll have to say losing that much time in the first 10 minutes. Because at least I get to perform in the race until Bowser throws, and then I could just make some dumb excuse that I always do, that Bowser throws are too hard, and then get away with it.
That's like you always do. Cheese being cheese, guys. Cheese being cheese. All right, God, your turn.
All right, so actually continuing on this race topic, or this specific race.
Okay.
So, yeah, everyone knows, Sig has been starting to play again. Everyone knows Sig's PB is from 1 billion years ago, and it's a high 143. 143.53 is his PB. What do you think would be more of like an OMG moment to happen live on stream? Would it be more awesome for Sig to PB in the race, or either me do whatever Punky to get a world record in the race? I know it's kind of like it might sound obvious, like, oh, world record sounds cooler, right? But like just the idea of Sig coming back on his first run back, and it's like, here's a PB on his first attempt. Would that be more exciting? Because people might be thinking, like, oh my God, he just PB'd. this means he's gonna keep PBing and then he's gonna like beat world record soon or something. What do you think?
I think if he wins while getting the PB, then it's the biggest, right? So if he wins with that PB, that'd be awesome. That would be hype.
Of course.
If he wins in any fashion, it's gonna be the hype moment, right? However, if he PBs but then you still win with the world record, then it's kind of like whatever. So I think the world record is obviously better because remember, this is a race. Only thing that matters is winning. Who's gonna win, right? No one cares about times. You know, times are important, but really, it's who wins, right? Someone could have 2 hours and they would still win. It matters, right?
The best way to ask the question: what is the most optimal outcome in that?
Oh, that's a good question. The most optimal outcome is it's tight the whole way with 4 people, and Siglemik pulls it out. Not saying I wish you the best of luck.
And he PBs, of course.
And he PBs, yeah. That would be the one that is makes Kotaku, right? That would make Kotaku.com website. If he's still, even if he has a good showing, it still would be hype, I think. But if he wins, I think that's Kotaku material. So I think that's what GSA secretly wishes happens. You know, like any sports league wishes things happen because it means the most news. That would be the biggest news, I think. But okay, what about you though? You answered the question too. What do you think?
Oh shoot. Well, I mean, as a racer, I want to win.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's weird because like, I don't want Sig to win because I want to win. But I mean, quite literally, if I am answering like the most optimal outcome would be me getting world record and winning.
That's true. A world record would be insane too, right? Let's not put that. Let's not kid ourselves. A world record would be hype.
Honestly, even if I don't win, a world record period is just like it would just be the most insane thing ever. But yeah,
I would want to see that. Has it ever happened where a world record is taken in a race and the guy that has world record loses a world record at that time? That would be so insane if you think about it, right? Because like you have the world record now. Let's say D whatever gets a world record and you're sitting there and you're like, "Am I boring you here? Wake up!"
No.
What if D whatever breaks your world record and you're sitting there? That'd be a cool moment, I think. Obviously, you don't want it to happen.
Yeah,
it'd be cool.
It would be cool. That would be something else.
I don't think it's ever happened in speedrunning history, probably, right? A world record beaten with a guy there.
With like on a race, I wouldn't think so.
Okay, last one, last ditch of that before we get to our ALT's crazy idea. Here we go. Cheese? I'm asking you again. What would you rather win? You're doing a lot of crap during this marathon, right? You have like 10. Cheese is doing a lot of stuff, but what would you rather win, right?
Two things, but yeah.
This showcase race, we've talked about, or your tournament, right? What would you rather win? The Super Mario 64 tournament or the showcase race? You can only choose one.
No, the tournament for sure. Because like, how many showcase runs and races I've done at GDQs, right? It's like it's for fun, ultimately. But like the tournament is winning the GSA's first league and prize money, obviously. Yeah, I think that's definitely more desirable. But in saying that, if I do lose the race really bad or come 4th place, then I will be living months of ridicule against me.
Your viewers will leave
and
you.
Memes.
Viewers will.
We're gonna watch Sig now. He's back, and you lost the race. So
yeah. Well, that's. I think like you're right. I think probably tournament's a better, more hype thing to win. However, I would also venture to guess that there will be more people watching the 124 star than there will be watching anything else because of Sig's. He's going to be there. So that's something to think about too. It will be probably the most viewed thing. Maybe the grand finals of Mario 64 might get there too. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah.
I actually have another surprise this or that for you.
Oh, okay, cool. Off the script, guys. We're going off the script.
Surprise.
Hang on your hats. All
right, so I guess from the showcase runs we have here, there's going to be a Pokemon Let's Go run, right? It's a quite new game. It's also a very long speed run. It's like the
4 hours 10 minutes.
Estimated time.
4 hours 10
4
minutes.
hours 10 minutes, right? It's a long run. But it's a new game, right? It's never been done in a marathon. Maybe it has. Please don't. I might be wrong completely. But it's a new game, long marathon. Most people probably have not seen it yet. A speed run of it. And then there are a lot of other shorter runs that people have seen a lot, and they're already like optimized games and stuff like that. What would you rather see, or what would you rather think? What do you think is better for? Could be for you personally or audience. or would you rather see a 4-hour game, 4-hour speedrun of a game that's brand new, you've never seen a speedrun of before, or would you rather sit down for just like 20 minutes where it's shorter, but it's a run that you've seen many times?
Oh, okay. So it depends on what you're doing, right? Because as a viewer at home,
Right.
I might have the event here. I like long runs because you put it on the second monitor, work, half watch. That kind of is a cool thing to do. But
Right.
I love doing that with like RPGs, like Final Fantasy and stuff. Like they're the best second monitor streams ever. I've watched like many times Nest Cardinalities runs on my second monitor just because it's just chill, right? Pokemon Let's Go, same thing. It's 4 hours. It's kind of chill. You can put it there, and you don't have to get that deep. Now, however, with Curb is 54. I'm talking to you, my friend, right now. You have the unenviable, difficult job of keeping people with you for that 4 hours, right? That's not an easy thing to do, and a lot of people have long runs, and it's like it is chill, but you can't just be so chill, right? You have still to explain stuff and explain the important moments, but you can't get too deep. It's a tough job. But Kerber 54, I have all the confidence in the world that you will pull this out. What about you though? Long run of a game or know, a short run of games or a long run of something you don't know?
I personally can't see myself sitting down watching a run for 4 hours.
Yeah.
But if I just see the game and I'm like, holy crap, I'm falling in love with this game, then I would want to watch the whole thing. I want to see it, right? I think it also depends on the runner. That might be a different
True.
thing to add on to it. Because, like, if it's Big John doing a 20-minute Mario run, I love Big John, I want to see Big John. If it's runners that I don't know and it's just all, like, centered around the game, I think I would have to agree with you. That's kind of like second monitor, leaving the run on.
Yeah.
It's a 4-hour run. It's more of like a chill thing, and I know for sure that I won't miss it. I would at least get to see some of it, because with a short run, you run the risk of missing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think I'll have to choose that.
There you go, guys. All right,
it fits the marathon theme too better too. But yeah.
True. There you go, guys. That was this or that. Let's get to ALT's crazy idea. This time, of course, we're keeping it pace. We're definitely keeping it pace related, of course. And the crazy idea this time has to do with, it's not really an ALT's insane idea. It's not really about insane idea this time at all, really. I guess I want to know from you, though, as someone that is with GSA. This is a GSA event. You go to sleep again, or?
It's 4 in the morning.
It's 4 a.m. Wake up!
15 hours.
We're almost done.
I'm trying my best.
So, cheeser. What makes pace a success for you, right? What are some things that when the event's over, you'll say, wow, that was a real success. We did good. What does that look like for you? This is my insane idea here. What do you think there? What are you hoping for this event?
The people who attended the event messaging in the Discord saying, holy crap, that was the best event I've ever been to. I want to come back. When is the next one? I think seeing that is like the biggest feeling of accomplishment, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the bat in my head, I would think that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just seeing that recognition for the people who attended of like, this is good stuff. Keep doing what you're doing, I guess.
That's a good answer. I guess for me, as someone at the outside, this is what I'm the questions in my head. You want it to go smooth. Some small hiccups are going to happen, right? I'm telling you right now, there's going to be some kind of thing.
No.
So as long as there's nothing that becomes newsworthy, like, wow, 4-hour layoff before this race, that kind of stuff you don't want to have happen. But you never know, right? I also hope that the hype is there in terms of things you expect to be hype, right? So I'm hoping that the Twitter hype is there, the Reddit hype is there. People are talking about stuff, right? I hope that happens. The community kind of is there to talk about it. I hope that the Siglemic race is hype. There's no reason for it not to be. I hope I hope that run blows up, that race blows up, and then it carries over, right? Because, wow, Super Mario 64, awesome, whatever 120-star race. I hope that carries over to the final day, right? Because that race happens before the final day, the grand finale, and all that stuff. I also hope that you get this is really on the commentators. I hope, and the awesome commentators are coming. Simply, Limcube, FC Racers, all the guys are coming. I hope that the feeling of, wow, this is the grand finals, you can feel that as a viewer, right? And that's going to be tough to do.
Yes.
But I hope that can portray itself. I think that's the real key of this event.
It's a totally new environment for speedrunning as well. So it's like, and I still struggle to imagine it because it's never happened, right? So it's like, what on earth is going to happen at pace? And yeah, like we have that grand finals moment, for example. We have the commentators going off. Welcome everybody to grand finals. It's going to be the hypest moment ever. These two players have almost the same time on average. We have no idea what's going to happen. And to add to that, if the grand finals actually end up being like a second apart or some crazy stuff, it will be like that moment of like, wow, and then people writing afterwards. That was so insane. I can't wait for the next event. That's like, that for me would be the moment of accomplishment. And it's like, can't wait to do the next one.
Yeah. And really, that's the thing too. Like that's a big part of luck in sports in terms of entertainment, right?
Yeah. What
if your grand finals and 70 star is a 20-minute difference, right? That's the thing that can happen in sports. You don't know, right? That's the thing. This is new ground for speedrunning. So hopefully every race is close, every race is hype, and that happens. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff we can talk about, but guys, just go watch Pace, right? If you want things like this to happen, to continue, to these new live events to happen, there's got to be people watching them. And, so if you just, if nothing else, check out a few things and see what you think, and then, enjoy it, right? Share it with people, because I think it's going to be hype. I have nothing but the hope. I hope it's awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, to add to that, of course, shout outs to Twitch and Curse as well, Entertainment, for giving us a front page support on Twitch and Curse's website as well, GamePedia.com. So
cool.
There's going to be a big audience as well, no matter what. So just to add to the hype.
Yep. Basically, don't mess it up. That's my news too. GSA,
exactly.
Don't mess it up. But all right, guys, that is the show for this week. Final shout outs. Go ahead, Cheese. Give your shout outs.
Shout outs to Gimmer and Apostle from VD Bootcamp, because again, without them, we wouldn't have been having Pace. And shout outs to GrandPOOBear.
Great interview. That was a good interview.
And all his people. Yeah.
That was a good interview. Shout outs. I want to say shout outs to GSA here. Now it seems kind of not so crazy, right? This live event, competitive event. But a year ago, 2 years ago, it was going to be crazy. It was crazy. And now it's here.
Yeah.
So now I hope it's awesome. I really hope it is awesome. And I hope this makes more things, right? That's what I hope happens, because it's awesome. But guys,
another quick shout out.
Go ahead.
Just today, I think the number of attendees at Pace, it passed 120.
Oh, cool.
A few days ago, it was at 100 attendees, or about a week ago, it was at 100 attendees. 20 attendees have signed up in the past week. Who knows? Maybe would it reach 150 during Pace? We'll see. But thank you so much, everybody. It's crazy.
Shout outs to the attendees. Enjoy yourselves. Yeah. That is the show for this week. We will see you in 2 weeks. Obviously, we'll be talking about how Pace went, how awesome it was, how awesome Cheese looked when he won that Mario 64 tournament, maybe. You never know. What can we say here? But Cheese, final words, leave it to you.
I love you all and see you at Pace.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.